Hello everybody. Hello my dear students for grade 3rd preparatory. Welcome back to school. I am Mr. Ahmed Asim and I will teach the curriculum of science for this year. Our curriculum in this year includes 4 units. First unit talks about the motion, speed, something called physical quantities. We will know it later. Second unit includes 2 lessons, talks about mirrors and lenses. Third unit includes also lesson talks about the universe and the solar system. The fourth unit includes 2 lessons talk about cell and the types of reproduction. Today, inshallah, we will start with unit 1 with the first lesson, which is called motion in one direction. At first, we want to know what the meaning of motion. For example, if I stand at this point and I walk to this point, in this case, I can say that I move. So, motion or movement means what? Means there is a change happens in the position of an object from point to another point. So motion, it's the change in an object's position. When I move from this position to another position, this movement happens with no time? No, of course it takes a time. So any object moves from position to another position, this movement happens through a period of time. So the motion is the change in an object position as time passes. When I stand at this position, the left side, or at the left arm, there is the word of first, right? When I move to this point, at the left side, there is no first. The word of first becomes backward. That means when I move, the objects around me changes. So we can conclude the definition of motion in 3 points. It's the change in an object's position as time passes according to the position of another object. As we said, the word first was at the left side or the left arm of me, then it becomes backward. The same happens when I move inside a car in the street. The buildings surround me become backward when I move. So the motion is the change in an object's position as time passes according to the position of another object. The motion has 2 types. We can move from one place to another in straight line or in one direction, like when we travel from Cairo to Alex. We move in the desert road in only one direction, from Cairo to Alex. But when we move inside the city, for example, from district to another district, from Mansoura to Wakra, for example, in this case, we can't move in one direction, but we should to move right, left. That means we have 2 types of motion, one direction or different directions. If we ask this question, what is the simplest type of motion? We said that we have 2 types, different directions and one direction. Which one of them is considered as the simplest type of motion? You can think, yes. The simplest type of motion is the motion of object in one direction. one direction is the simplest motion, simplest type of motion. Like also, or we can observe also this type of motion in train or metro. Train or metro during the movement doesn't take right side or left side, but it moves during all the travel in one direction. When the object moves in one direction, that doesn't mean it must be a straight line, but it may be a curved line. Sometimes when we move in one direction, the path may be in some parts becomes curved, not strict or not straight line during all the travel. So the path of the motion in one direction may be straight or curved. The following item in this lesson, we know that there is an object and this object moves. Any object moves. It must have what? Car moves, so it must have. Train moves, so it must have what? Speed. So, because we talk about motion, we must know this concept, which is speed. What the meaning of speed? If you ride a car and you ask the driver what is your speed, for example, he can say the speed is 100 km/h, right? Or you can observe the speedometer inside the car. The speedometer, there are numbers and there is km/h is written inside it. So the speed of an object is identified as the distance which is covered by the object. Only distance covered by the object? No. The distance covered by the object through time. When I say the car moves with the speed 100 km/h, that means it covers a distance of 100 km through the time of 1 hour. So the speed, it's the distance covered by the object through the unit of time. We have many problems on speed, so we need to know the rule that we can use to calculate the speed of an object. In some problems, distance is given and time, and you should try to calculate the speed. Or speed is given with time, and you should to calculate the distance. So the rule of speed is distance over time. V equals D over T. V indicates to speed, D indicates to distance, and time indicates to T indicates to time. What is the measuring unit of the speed? If we calculate the speed of an object and the answer was 100 watts, we said it before. We said that the measuring unit is km/h or meter per second. The speed of the object, or the measuring unit of speed, may be meter per second or km/h. Meter per second if the distance covered by the object is measured by meter and the time measured by second. But if the car moves, we can calculate it, we can calculate the distance by kilometer and the time by hour. So the measuring unit in this case will be km/h. So we have two measuring units, meter per second or km/h. Now, let's see an example for this rule. In this example, he asked me to calculate the distance covered by a student to move from his home to the school if he moves with the speed of 2 meters per second in the time of 10 minutes. So he asked me to calculate the distance. So in this rule, we can make a triangle. V equals distance over time. He asked me to calculate what? Distance. So the distance equals V multiply T. Where is the speed in this problem? We can know the speed from the unit. We know that the measuring unit is meter per second or kilometer per hour. Where is the unit? Yes, this, the unit, meter per second. So the speed of 2 meters per second, V equals 2, multiply time. What is the time? The time is 10 minutes. So we can write here 10. No, we can't. Why? Because if the distance with meter, the time must be in seconds. And if the distance in kilometer, the time must be in hour. In this case, the speed in meter per second. So the time must be measured in seconds. We need to convert minutes into seconds. How can we convert the minutes into seconds? Each minute contains or includes 60 seconds. That means 10 minutes includes what? 10 multiply 60. 10 is the time and multiply 60 to convert it into seconds. By calculation, 2 multiply 10 multiply 60 equals 1,200. This is the distance. What is the measuring unit of distance? Meter or kilometer? In this problem, we use meter or kilometer? We use meter. So the distance equals 1,200 meters. This is an example for speed. Of course, in some problems, he may ask you to calculate distance like this, but some others may ask to calculate speed or calculate time. Now, try to solve these questions. The first one, complete. The measuring units of speed are space and space. Number 2, the simplest type of motion is space. Try to answer. So the measuring units of speed are meter per second or kilometer per hour. The simplest type of motion is motion in one direction. Now, write your homework and try to answer it. Give reasons. The motion of train is the motion in one direction. We said that the motion in one direction, some examples for this motion is train or metro. Okay, give reasons why the motion of train is the motion in one direction. Thank you for watching. See you later in the second session. Goodbye.